Well, viewers, a top story today. Karnataka government's bid to protect its own has highlighted the conduct of law and order in the state. Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar was being probed by the CBI in the disproportionate assets case. Now, however, the Home Department urged the state cabinet to really go ahead and withdraw the prosecution sanction that was given to the CBI, which the cabinet approved yesterday. The BJP has called the decision illegal, further calling it a golden opportunity for the Deputy Chief Minister to prove his honesty claims. BJP also urged DK Shivakumar not to really shy away from the probe, rather oppose the move by the cabinet. Congress, on the other hand, has termed it a conspiracy against the Karnataka government. DK Shivakumar, however, seemed unperturbed by the cabinet move, saying that those who want to talk about it will keep doing so.
The then BJP's government for sanctioning to CBI itself was illegal. As per their own criteria, it did not meet. I have spoken in detail how they have misused the government, how they have misconstrued the guidelines to ensure that the Congress leaders are tied up under the CBI, IT and ED. This is a completely illegal way of doing things to ensure that they tie Mr. DK Shivakumar in false cases.
ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕೋ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕೋ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
If DK Shivakumar is really innocent, why is he shying away from the legal process? And it's a golden opportunity for DK Shivakumar to show to the state of people of Karnataka and to the entire country that is honest. So why is he shying away with this opportunity?
ಅವರು ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವರು ಓರಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು CBIಗೆ ಕೊಡಿ ಕೇಸನ್ನು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಚೀಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿಗೆ ಓರಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರಲ್ಲ, ಆಗ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪ್ರೇರಿತ ಆಗಿರಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಚೌಕಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಅವತ್ತಿನ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಜನರಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. BJP ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರೆದು ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಜನರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಚೌಕಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಇತಿಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪ್ರೇರಿತ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಒಂದು, ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Well, let's open this up to our panelists joining us today. Madhu and Rao, spokesperson, the BJP is with us. Satya Prakash from the Congress party, Vijay Grover, senior journalist, is with us. Well, Mr. Madhu, multiple reactions have been coming in from the BJP, and some of them, of course, differ. We had your party president today go on to say that, well, Mr. DK Shivakumar should not accept what the cabinet has done, and in fact should come out clean. Some of them are saying that this is just adding to the entire charge of corruption that you all have been leveling against the Congress party. Now, at this point, how does the BJP plan to take this forward, and what is the, if you can give an explanation to the defense that has come in from the Congress?
Good evening, Deepak. I think in the first place, this is a very unconstitutional move by the grand old party, because never has it been in the history of at least Karnataka, we have seen such a action which has been taken by the government to safeguard a corrupt politician, as what has been perhaps alleged by the ED or the CBI for that matter. Let's be practical in this matter. I mean, I was just listening to the the Law Minister, Mr. HK Patil's interview yesterday. If you can just, see what his comments were, I was really shocked. He was mentioning as follows. He told Speaker's permission was not obtained, sanction was not given, and, previous AG has given some opinion, and it was not in accordance with law. I mean, for heaven's sake, I just want to remind Mr. HK Patil that all these things have been already considered in a writ petition which has been filed by Mr. DK Shivakumar in 10479 of 2020, and it has been dismissed. I mean, where are we in? Where is the Congress party heading to? In spite of there being a case which has been dismissed and they have gone on appeal, there is an appeal which is pending before a division bench,
and the matter is coming on 29th of this month, and of all, they have the audacity to bring as an agenda into the cabinet committee to say that nothing is, the procedure was not followed. I mean, let me tell one thing. If the procedure was not followed, please make a proper procedure in such a case. If assuming that we were to be wrong, please make a proper procedure and put corrupt politicians behind bars in such a case. What are you trying to to the people of India and the people of Karnataka? Is this the way to do it? Is the question we are asking, Deepak. And point two, I want to ask the Congress party today. You have been voted, you got 136 seats. Are we to see all these things? People are dying. Today, farmers are dying. There's no water. There is shortage of electricity. Are you to do all these things? Are you therefore supporting and shielding corrupt politicians? What is the state of Karnataka into? What is Mr. Siddaramaiah doing? Mr. Siddaramaiah boasts of constitutionality. He himself being a lawyer. Will he subscribe? Will he second to what has been happened yesterday with regard to the cabinet committee? I am really shocked. Therefore, Bharatiya Janata Party tomorrow, under the guidance and the leadership of our president, Mr. Vijayendra,
but Mr. Rao,
Hartal tomorrow, and we'll go ahead with this. We will
okay,
tell the
you're going to protest, but the question here is the Chief Minister, the Law Minister, everyone had one thing to say, that there was a procedural lapse. This had to be fixed, and that's the reason we've done it, and it is under the ambit of the law. What was done under the BJP was not under the ambit of the law, because to prosecute a legislator, you have to go through the speaker. That was not done during the time of Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa, who went ahead and gave an oral order to the Chief Secretary, is the argument that's coming in.
No, Deepak. I must correct you. I'm sorry if you're not read, or for my fellow panelists, or for the Congress party.
This is the Congress's charge, Mr. Rao. This is not my charge. This is what the Congress has been maintaining.
They're miserably wrong. They do not respect the High Court's verdict in such a case. Mr. DK Shivakumar has gone on appeal in writ appeal.
Now talk us through this procedural lapse that they're mentioning. Talk us through this procedural lapse that is being brought up time and again. The Home Minister stressed upon it, the Chief Minister stressed upon it, the Law Minister stressed upon it. Talk through this particular lapse in procedure. Was it followed or not followed?
Mr. Deepak, if you read the judgment of writ petition 1047 of 2020, the court is very clear. They told Speaker's permission is not required, and they have told that the issue was only so much, whether sanction is required or a consent is required. And we have given a consent, and we have the consent on 25/9/2019. We have given a consent to the CBI order. Sorry, but to the CBI saying that you please initiate CBI proceedings. That was questioned in that very same order. In the very same order, the High Court has specifically told no such things are required. The procedure has been duly followed. Of all, they want to come again in a roundabout fashion.
Okay, let me take this across to Mr. Satya Prakash as well. Mr. Satya Prakash, today, Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa came out. He gave a bite to the media, and more importantly, he read out a note where the Enforcement Directorate had requested the state government that this is a matter that is fit to be investigated by the CBI and they should hand it over. And based on this request of the Enforcement Directorate, they went ahead and, promulgated this order. So which lapse are you talking about? On the other hand, the BJP is saying that, well, in the courts, it was very much decided that, there was no need for the speaker to give his, nod in this particular case.
See, Bopanna, we need to understand why these cases are foisted on Mr. DK Shivakumar, our KPCC President and Deputy Chief Minister. The BJP leadership, top leadership, has set up a dry cleaning shop. They have set up a shop. Okay. Anyone who comes into the shop, into their washing machine, he is clean. For example, Modi accused Ajit Pawar of 30,000 scam 10 or 15 days before he was admitted into where they went into an alliance and made a government in Maharashtra. What happened with Mr. DK Shivakumar ji is they wanted him to come into the washing machine. He never wanted to be part of the BJP's washing machine. He was a very loyal congressman. He and along with Siddaramaiah were supposed to bring Congress party to power in 23. The BJP leadership knew about it. Let me come to the chronology of events. What happened? The Chief Secretary of the State receives a letter from the ED saying that, there is a case, okay? We want to give it to CBI. You give your opinion on this, because without state's consent, no one can give the case to CBI, okay? That happened on 9/9/2019, okay? The CS didn't know what to do. He sent it to DPR, the Department of Personnel, which takes all these cases, since it was under PMLA. The DPR, after going through this, felt that it is not an authority to deal with this letter at all, saying that it requires, AG's advice, and some permissions are required since he is a elected MLA. So it sends it back to the CS. The CS then sends it to the Home Minister, ACS of the Home Ministry. The ACS also sends it back saying that, since it is under the PMLA, the Undersecretary says that you need to require the opinion of the Advocate General. Very, very clear. Then the ACS sends it to the Advocate General. In one day, they force the AG to give a report. The AG says that, he keeps it for 5 or 6 days. That is on 16/9/19. Since AG was not in a hurry to give a report just like that, what he said was, there is notes also to that. He said, if we have to bring anyone under 17A1, okay, I have to go through the case.
Okay.
Whether it attracts. Without going through the case and without investigation agencies investigating it, I don't have the investigative report of the ED or IT. Without that, I can't give a report, he says, and he keeps mum for 5 or 6 days. Then on 24/9, suddenly the Chief Minister opens another file.
Okay, let's not go into each and every date here. We do not have too much time here, Mr. Satya Prakash.
I'll finish up. I'll finish up. This is very
important. To sum it up at this point, the BJP is saying if Mr. DK Shivakumar was all confident that he's going to come out clean, why this move? Especially when there are court directions that to complete the investigation in a matter of 3 months. The entire episode, of course, is drawing to a close almost. And now at such a juncture, months before the Lok Sabha election, to actually go ahead and do something like this, do you think it really reflects well on the Congress? Do you think it was probably other options were better? What do you really think?
What I am telling is, this is the case of vindictive politics. Why should Mr. DK Shivakumar, our KPCC president, please don't intervene. Please don't intervene and don't be a rhetoric. Okay? Why should our KPCC president and Deputy CM spend his midnight oil on a case which is fictitiously and politically motivated? Why should we spend? Is BSY spending the time like this? Is Sadanand Gowda spending? Is Bombay spending? Why should only opposition leaders spend their time? Other than politics, why should they spend time in the courts? This is what the Congress party has done. It has seen so many.
Mr. Vijay Grover, this is the Congress saying this is our way of shielding our own leaders, because
it's not shielding.
BJP unleashes Enforcement Directorate, the Income Tax Department, the CBI onto the opposition leaders. Mr. Vijay Grover, do you think this is advantage Congress?
Well, see, as far as the Congress is concerned, it clearly is trying to, play in the muddled waters. Now, looking at it from a common man's point of view, or, a person who's a citizen of the state, one thing that is the top of everyone's mind is, one, whether the corruption charges are true or false, which only the verdict will tell. Second, the question that everybody has in mind is a case which was filed in 2017. What is it that the CBI has been investigating for 6 long years with some intermittent stays on its investigation, that it's taken so long? So clearly the politics, unfortunately, the way the agencies have become a part of the political battles, that is where, questions are raised. And that's where suspicions arise. And that's where the accountability of the organization, the CBI, is now under a scanner, because it's again a part of a political debate. It's again a part of a political tool. And if mechanism, because I was going through the CBI's website, trying to understand, what are the kind of sanctions it needs from a state government. And it very clearly said that it was consent. It is not a sanction in this particular case. So this is where a lot of transparency from the middle of the muddle of the, the legal battle that has been going on for 6 years now. At least the people of the state want transparency, clarity, and the investigation to be over in 3 months, which the court has now said. And everybody hopes that, if DK Shivakumar is getting sympathy out of the fact that he's being, pushed into this kind of legal battles and not allowed to do his work fully. It may give some advantage to the Congress. But for the BJP, it is now caught red-faced because the AG's recommendations are not there. And that's what Yediyurappa also said very clearly in the thing, that the AG had declined to give his recommendation. And that's something which is very serious to clearly show that it could be a political move to make this case hand over to CBI.
But incidentally here, Mr. Grover, that while the Congress party, of course, has been talking about this, but what the BJP essentially has been arguing is that this entire argument in itself didn't stand the test of the court, because the Congress did go to court about citing these very issues. Another issue that Mr. Satyaprakash of the BJP has also brought up, I want to ask you about this as well, is that they're saying that the current Advocate General was once petitioner or counsel for Mr. DK Shivakumar. This is something that Yatnal brought up as well.
Yeah. Well, see, this is where, he should have excused himself. That is something where, you can always withdraw from the
very
case
quickly.
When you take
I believe we've just been joined in by a senior advocate, Sanjay Heg. I'm going to interrupt all our guests because there have been a lot of, somewhere the fine legalities here is being pushed around by both the Congress and the BJP. I'm going to ask Mr. Sanjay Hegde to probably give us a better understanding of how this works. Mr. Hegde, I'm sure you're aware of what has happened through the last 24 hours with the state government withdrawing the sanction that was given to the CBI to prosecute Mr. DK Shivakumar. On one hand, the Congress party here argues that due protocol or procedure was not followed. The Speaker's consent was not taken. The Advocate General didn't give his consent either. Then, of course, the BJP has been arguing that the same issues was taken up in the Karnataka High Court. It didn't stand the test of the court, where the court, of course, didn't give any sort of relief to Mr. DK Shivakumar. In such a situation, what are the options now for the CBI? Does this withdrawal of this sanction really hold good? And can we consider this as any sort of relief for Mr. DK Shivakumar?
Well, let's leave Karnataka and DK Shivakumar outside. The first part is that the CBI operates under what is called the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Under that act, it is incumbent on the CBI to seek sanction of the state in which it operates in. States used to give blanket permission earlier. Then because the CBI, much before the BJP came into power, the CBI was getting involved in a lot of political matters and many states withdrew sanctions. Notwithstanding that, people would go to the courts and the courts would order the CBI to take over. That has been upheld by the Supreme Court. Here is a case where the CBI had got sanction from the Karnataka government under the previous regime. Now that sanction has been withdrawn. So therefore, technically, the CBI cannot continue the investigation. It's, of course, it can transfer the investigation to the state police if it wants, or if somebody then approaches the court and the court says no, notwithstanding it, the investigation by the CBI can go on, that's a different issue. We do not really have a federal investigating agency in this country, except now the NIA under the NIA Act. But that is restricted to specific matters, not to ordinary matters of corruption. So on the whole, I do think that this is a certain relief to Mr. Shivakumar till such time as this muddle is solved one way or the other, either by the courts ordering it or by the Karnataka government somehow agreeing again.
Mr. Hegde, also, withdrawing the sanction in retrospect, how does it really operate? Because the CBI has almost concluded its investigation is something that they have been maintaining in court. Courts have, of course, directed them to complete whatever they have to in the next 3 months. The matter comes up again on the 29th. So what happens to all of this?
See, if either an investigating agency has the power to investigate or it doesn't have the power. The CBI would get power only if a court had previously granted sanction. That has not happened. Now that the sanction has been withdrawn, it has to find some way, some process by which, in the absence of the sanction, also the investigation continues. Quite on a different note, there is a judgment of the Assam High Court, of the Guwahati High Court, which struck down the very organization of the CBI. That also is pending in appeal in the Supreme Court. I really think that the best way would be if the union government passes a law and which then takes care of all these problems as far as the CBI is concerned. But that may go against.
Well, if the union government passes a law, especially after this particular incident, then the Congress's charge will only intensify that this is political targeting. I thank you, Mr. Hegde, for the legal perspective that you gave us. Unfortunately, I'm short of time. Yeah, quickly.
Last sentence. Long ago, I said that the Central Bureau of Investigation is the bureau for anybody who's in power in the center. That position has to change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the biggest charge that the Congress, of course, has been making. And they're saying that this is a way to shield the opposition. And that's exactly what they've done. We'll have to see, with the BJP now threatening to protest tomorrow, how things, of course, unfold in the state of Karnataka. I'm thanking Mr. Grover, Mr. Satyaprakash, Mr. Madhu, and Mr. Hegde for joining us on this broadcast. We have a Mirror Now special broadcast on the other side. Stay tuned.